Taiwan. I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's export orders for September increased 3.4% compared to the same period last year. That breaks a streak of 12 consecutive months of outbound orders falling year on year. The turnaround was driven by a 60% boost in orders for IT and audiovisual equipment, as many manufacturers released new models during the period. Taiwan's imports also fell from a year earlier, leading to a trade surplus. Taiwan's largest export market is China, including Hong Kong. That's followed by ASEAN nations and the United States. Nursing unions plan to march through Taipei to demand better pay and conditions. That's amid a nursing shortage and a wave of quitting. They say making the job unbearable. John Van Triest reports.
Taiwan's nurses say they're in hell, and nursing union reps are dressed in gaulish costumes to drive the point home. Many of their colleagues are quitting due to low wages and tough conditions. Fresh nursing school graduates aren't making up the difference either. Almost half give up on the profession before they even get their license. All this means overwork, with nurses caring for many patients at once. It means odd schedules that leave no room for proper sleep. And it even means an expectation that nurses will work in departments outside their expertise, doing a bit of everything just to keep hospitals running. The unions have a plan, though.
那我们预计是在10月22号当天中午12点半在这个地方集合。那除了就是有舞台活动之外，我们也会有游行活动。
A hell-themed march through Taipei to draw attention to their plight just as the presidential race enters its final stretch. In a tactic spreading among labor circles, they've invited the candidates to come and publicly endorse their demands.
尊重专业，提升待遇。
Money. As the nurses here see it, that's the root of the shortage. And higher wages take pride of place among their 4 demands. Though with bonuses, a nurse at a big medical center can make $1,800 a month, around Taiwan's average. Some here say pay for most is far lower.
你可以看到他们的底薪就是29000、32000，大家觉得这样低不低薪？非常的低薪。
It's not just union members saying low wages are a problem.
在这个过程当中，你要怎么样的去留住人力？其实最重要的一件事情就是要增加我们的薪资。那你只要是增加薪资、增加这样的诱因，男生女生都会来投入。
But it's not just about money. The nurses' unions are also demanding an end to overwork, an end to unreasonable schedules and expectations, and more investment in Taiwan's public health insurance system. They say if they don't get what they're demanding, the march may not be the end of their push.
那至于罢工的话，那就会是如果我们有更多团结的力量，有达到罢工的门槛，当然那也是一条可能的道路。
There's a festive atmosphere here, but behind the fun costumes is a serious issue. A vicious cycle of low wages, quitting nurses, and no one left to take their place. It's something that the nurses here hope the presidential candidates will address for the safety of everyone. John Su and John Van Triest in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
The government is looking to migrant workers to help fix the labor shortage in the local tourism industry. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the sector has been struggling to attract staff, especially housekeepers. The cabinet says they might let workers from other countries fill those gaps, but they're still working on the details. Local labor groups say hiring foreigners isn't the solution, and that tourism operators need to raise salaries to attract workers. Taiwan's cabinet passed a plan to spend $1.7 billion over 5 years to support people with disabilities. The move comes as the country faces shortages of professionals and facilities to care for people with disabilities. The government says the new budget will go towards building more care homes and raising pay for social workers. A temple located inside one of Taiwan's Navy bases is opening its doors to members of the public. Laura Stewart takes a look inside.
A short walk up these steps and you'll find a place of worship. But unlike most temples in Taiwan, you can't just wander in here. That's because it's inside a naval base. This is the Jin'an Temple in the east coast town of Su'ao. Built during the Qing dynasty, it's dedicated to Mazu, the goddess of the sea and protector of seafarers. In earlier times, locals and fishers would come here to pray for peace and safety out at sea. But in 1975, Taiwan's military built a base on the land. Residents moved to the south of the town and left the temple behind. Renovations over the years have restored features that make the temple special. It has shrines for a number of individual deities and poetry engravings. But the temple's location inside the Navy base means you can't just walk in. It used to be open 3 days a week, and people had to apply to go. But that ended during the pandemic. It's now reopening its doors to worshippers, but because of weekday military drills and security concerns, only Taiwanese nationals will be allowed to apply for the few slots available.
平常时因为这是海军的禁区，所以无法度入来。若要入来，爱伫个每周的礼拜六、礼拜天可以进来参拜。
With Mazu promising peace and safety on the water, it's unsurprising she has such a strong presence at the Navy base. And now, fishers and other seaside communities can return to the temple and seek her protection. Ethan Pan and Laurel Stewart for TaiwanPlus.
Coral spawning is essential to the preservation of delicate marine ecosystems, but concerns are growing about the threats they face. Sally Jensen has more.
Like clockwork, these corals perform an act that sustains life in the oceans. Coral spawning is a magical phenomenon to observe and happens only once a year under certain conditions.
根据太阳下山跟月亮上升的这个时间点的黑暗的长度跟月光的光亮的亮度来决定它要不要同步产卵。
Spawning brings about a new generation of marine invertebrates. The coral reefs they form provide food and habitat for around a quarter of ocean species. That's why they're often called the rainforests of the sea. But veteran diving instructor Grace says they are no longer as vibrant and abundant as they once were.
我们很常听到在地人就说：“哎呀，你们说现在很漂亮啊，我们30年前更是漂亮，满满的珊瑚，满满的鱼，满满的龙虾。可是现在就不像以前一样。”
She and other marine ecologists say this is partly because of human-caused damage.
如果说游客他不按水性的时候，他常常会就是很自然的、不自觉的，或者站在那个珊瑚上面，它就会造成那个珊瑚的踩踏，珊瑚的上头就会产生像癞痢头一样，就凸了一块在上面。
But it's not just accidental trampling that's causing damage to the coral reefs. There's also overfishing, pollution, habitat destruction, and climate change.
珊瑚礁生态系是第一个会消失在这个地球上面的生态系。这些岛国的国家的这些人民都是依附在健康的珊瑚礁生存，所以今天要有健康的珊瑚礁，我们人类的生活才有办法健康的活下去。
其实是蛮两难的，就尤其是自己在地的时候，你在看这件事情，对我们也会蛮纠结的，有怎么样去做才是最好的。
But just as human activity is destroying coral reefs, human intervention may be their only hope of survival. Researchers in Taiwan are trying to artificially spawn these corals. This device collects coral sperm and egg bundles to be taken back to a lab.
珊瑚以软海战术释放中，其实它的存活率很低，人工带回去实验室培养的话，可以大量增加这些珊瑚的存活率。
Coral conservationists hope that in this way they can continue the reproductive cycles of corals and help preserve the world's biggest carbon sink. And if their work can raise awareness about the importance of corals, it may just breed new hope for these delicate ecosystems. Joseph Wu and Sally Jensen for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of turtles recovering in a shelter after being rescued from wildfires in Greece this summer. I'm Ethan Liu. Take care, and I'll see you next time.